News for us to deal with. Now an audio tape of Osama bin Laden has popped up overnight claiming responsibility for the Christmas bomber and promising more such attacks. You were very critical last week of how this whole Christmas bomber deal has been handled by the government. Are you satisfied that the government is doing enough on this?
Well, I think that the events of last week and the way it was handled proved that there were significant errors made, both in anticipating the Christmas bomber and putting together all the information that was obviously there. But the Osama bin Laden tape, I'm sure indicates that Osama bin Laden is still a motivating force for jihadist Islamic extremists throughout the world. And so we have to stay after him. But any chance of finding out Osama bin Laden's connection with this bombing vanished when the decision was made without consulting any of our intelligence heads by apparently the Justice Department, with directions to low level of the FBI to give this individual a trial in civil court, which then gave him his Miranda rights, and he was lawyered up. He was cooperating until he got a lawyer. Now that makes it almost impossible for us to pursue the leads that the Christmas bomber might have. That, to me, is unbelievable.
As yet, the government has reviewed this, but we haven't seen anyone who's been held accountable yet.
No, no one has been held responsible. Apparently, it may be, unfortunately, the old Washington game, not invented with this administration. We're all responsible, so no one is responsible. The American people expect us to hold people accountable, and I intend, as a member of the Homeland Security Committee, to see if we can't continue to find out who was responsible and hold them accountable.
Should they be dismissed, fired? Should heads roll here?
I think that, as the President said, there's responsibility. There was a failure, and as soon as we find out the depth of those failures, obviously I think there should be changes made. Otherwise, we really are not addressing the personnel side of it. The other side of it is we ought to look at what we've done with the reorganization of government and the creation of massive new bureaucracies, and whether we've actually improved our ability to stop these attacks from taking place.
Do you think creating the Department of Homeland Security on reflection was a good idea, or was it just another level of bureaucracy?
I think the 9/11 Commission clearly concluded, and I agreed with them, that there had to be a consolidation of intelligence assets and greater cooperation and sharing amongst the various agencies. Now, whether the creation of that department has achieved that goal or not is, in light of recent events, is not absolutely clear.
Senator, a lot of unforeseen opposition suddenly cropped up last week to the confirmation of Ben Bernanke to be the chairman of the Federal Reserve. I now count some 10 senators, 5 Republicans, 5 Democrats, who say they're going to vote against him. Are you going to vote for him or against him?
I'm very skeptical about his nomination. I'm worried that if his nomination is turned down, the effect that it might have. But the fact is that Chairman Bernanke was in charge when we hit the iceberg, and his policies were partially responsible for the meltdown that we experienced. I think that he should be held accountable.
Well, do you think he should withdraw his nomination?
No, I don't know, because again,
well, I mean, are you going to vote against him, or you're just concerned about it?
I'm both concerned and leaning against.
Leaning against, yes. Voting for him.